In this video, I am going to be teaching you the holy hair method for a proper, secure bead foundation and hiding your beads while you're sewing in the hand-tied hair. So stay tuned for this full video to learn my method.
Let's go, let's lead, let's hit, let's go. Holy hair, let's go, let's go, let's go.
If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I have been pretty transparent with you, and I self-taught myself how to do these kind of extensions and installing with the beads method and sewing in and all of that. So whatever you would like to call it, hand-tied, hidden bead, invisible bead, I don't know. I don't have proper terms for everything, and maybe I will in the future, and maybe that's the difference between me and some other people, but I just kind of go with the flow, and I decided to teach myself how to do this because about a year ago when I taught myself how to do this, I was pregnant and I did not have paid maternity leave, and I didn't have any of that, but I had clients that wanted these extensions and I was motivated. So I literally taught myself how to do this because I didn't have the extra, $2,000 or whatever it is to go get certified in extensions. So I taught myself, and 99% of things that you're going to do in the salon, you are going to work with yourself and teach yourself how to do these things. So I think it's really important to practice on some friends and clients. I practiced on about 10 people, and I tried a bunch of different methods. I just made up my own methods. I didn't go to anyone else's classes. I didn't take anybody else's classes or get certified by anybody else. So I literally just kind of figured it out on my own. And this method came about with trial and error. And so, like I said, I've been pretty transparent with you guys. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down my perfected method after a year of perfecting it. This is going to be my perfected method. And yes, this video, the lighting isn't very great, but you will get the gist and you will get the technique that I'm doing here. And I was thinking about in the future doing, like, if you beauties would be interested, doing some Skype or Zoom or FaceTime sessions one-on-one to help teach you. I'm not in the place where I could travel around and teach people, nor do I want to do that right now. So I have a lot of people that ask me tons of questions all the time about how I do this, and they just have detailed questions. So if you would be interested in doing a one-on-one virtual class, please leave a comment down below and let me know, and I will get on that in the future. So going on to giving you instruction for what I'm doing here, so you can kind of see what I've been doing, but I'll break it down. So I am taking the string and I'm stringing it through the bead here. And then I am going to clamp this up against the scalp. So you want it to be flat. You want the bead to lay flat. I know I got a lot of criticism with my first video that I ever posted that her beads were a little too tight. And yes, they were a little too tight, but I wouldn't say they were like ridiculously tight. I always check in with my client and ask them, hey, does this feel okay? Does this bead feel too tight? And whatnot. So we've got the first 3 beads going, and we're going to continue to do this around her head. So basically what I am doing is I am pulling the string through the bead in addition to about, I would say, 3/4 of an inch of hair. And you want enough hair to go into the bead to where it gives a little bit of tension, but not too much. And then I'm going to be clamping down the bead. And then after I clamp down the bead with the string in there, I'm going to lift up that section, and I'm going to just feather through, what's the word? Not feather. I don't know, take the needle and go through the hair. So you're literally going underneath the hair. And I had my assistant film this, and so I'm trying to find a clip in here that gives you some good lighting. So this is kind of hard, but all right, maybe this next one will give us will give us better lighting. But anyways, so I'm going in the middle of the bead, like right underneath the middle of the bead. And what that's going to do, why I'm stringing the string back through, is that's going to bring it on top. So obviously when we're stringing the bead through through the bead, or when we're stringing the string through the bead, I'm going on little sleep this week, you guys, because Ruby is not sleeping and she's teething, so that's been really fun. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this is good lighting. All right, I'm stringing it through the bead. Good to go. And you don't want this to be too tight either. You want it to be straight, but you don't want the string to be too tight in their hair. And then I'm going to clamp this one down. Clamp it down, come on. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to literally lift up that whole section of hair that has the bead around it. And then I'm going to string up under the bead in the middle so that the string is on top for my next section. Otherwise, you're going to have saggy wefts if you do not do this portion of the technique. So going on to my next one, I'm going to grab my section of hair and grab my beading tool. And this just takes practice. So if this is the first time you're doing this, or if you're first learning this and you're frustrated, just give yourself some grace. You'll get it. It takes some practice. So we're stringing it through. Really, you need a third hand with all of this. Like, that's, to be honest, when you're doing extensions, you really need a third hand, but we don't have a third hand. A third hand would be very helpful in a lot of aspects of life, but nonetheless, we do not have a third hand. So I'm lifting up that entire section and I'm going literally in the middle of the section, and I'm stringing the string back up and through that section. So I'm doing this all the way around, and the good thing about this method is that after you do all your bead foundation, you can either, when you're sewing, like sometimes I'll have a weird thing happen where as I'm sewing, the pre-measured, bead foundation will be a little too short or a little too long. I have some tricks on how to, in the moment, fix that and not screw up your bead foundation. So I think I do a little bit of that in this video. I can't remember if she got that on camera, but these are the types of things that I could answer one-on-one, is like those situational things that I can't answer every situation when I'm doing one tutorial. So it's kind of hard to really teach here on YouTube because nobody's asking questions and nobody's, like live while I'm posting the tutorial. Nobody's asking questions and I'm not, tailoring it to the people that I'm talking to. So it is a little tricky teaching you guys on YouTube, and I try my absolute best to give you detailed tutorials and to show you exactly what I'm doing, because I truly want to help you, because this is a service that you're going to make good money doing and you're going to get good clients in the door. I mean, extension clients are your bread and butter. Like, this is going to make you some extra money so that you don't have to work as much. If you can at least get, 2 or 3 extension clients a month, you're going to make a lot more money than your average ticket, just because extensions are a lot of work. It's a lot of, teaching and learning, and it is a good amount of work. So, there's reason why we charge what we charge for extensions. And also, this is going to last your clients about 9 weeks. And it's a luxury service. This is something that is going to be a high maintenance service. It's going to be just like a, luxury high maintenance service. So whenever you have, let's say a luxury vehicle, you're not going to pay the same price as for a Toyota as you are for a Lexus. So this is kind of just like your luxury service to give you that extra money so that maybe, you could buy your Lexus, trade in your Toyota and get a Lexus. I'm not really a car person, so that wasn't a great analogy. But here I am finishing the beading method, and I will show you what the close-up looks like of everything and the foundation. And as you can see how clean that looks, and everything like that. So we are going to be adding in 3 wefts to her hair. So see how the string is like back on top? Like it consistently stays on top. That's kind of the secret to this method. So doing the hidden bead, or invisible bead, whatever you would like to call it, is like so simple, you guys. It's not rocket science. So all you're going to do is lift up the hair that is in the beads and clip it up. And then you're going to do 1 or 2 wefts on the bottom, whatever you feel comfortable with. I find it's easier to do 1 weft on the bottom and then 2 on top. I usually do about 3 to 4 wefts per row. That is just kind of what I've consistently done. Occasionally I will just do 2 on a row. And then that'll be enough for that client. But really, all these little details with the amount of wefts, the color, the this, the that, the hair, all that stuff like that just depends on your client. So it's going to be just like when you're formulating color, it depends on the client. Like I can't just tell you, oh, here's a, blonde toner formula, and that's going to be your toner for every single client. Everything varies from client to client, and that's just how our industry is, and that's just how things work. So I'm going to put a blonde one in here. So as you can see, I pinned that brunette weft on the bottom. I pulled the hair down in between, and then now I am going to layer 2 wefts on the top, and my blonde weft is going to go in the middle. And it was so funny. My assistant was like worried when I was doing this step. She was like, oh girl, like I don't know if these are gonna turn out. Like, I don't know if that color is going to be good. And I was like, you just wait and see. After we layer this top weft on, that color is going to be popping. And my client loved this color, by the way. So this hair, everyone asks me where I get the hair from. You guys, getting the hair is difficult. I totally get it. I have gone back and forth with, do I start my own hairline? Do I go through all the trouble and headache that it is to start my own hairline? I don't know yet. I have not decided. This is hair, okay, that I'm using in this video. This is hair that I am trying out from a distributor, a wholesale distributor that would be a distributor that I would get hair from to make my own hairline, basically, to have my own labels and sell my own hair. And I've thought about it because not everybody wants to or can source hair. And here I am fumbling on the corner. So like, this is like real life, you guys. Literally, you want to make sure everything's perfect. And here I am such a perfectionist. But that's the thing, is you just take the time. Like if this is, something that you want to take your time, you don't want to feel rushed, do not book this service in between a busy day. Like make this your last service of the day, especially if you're still learning or you're not like 100% there yet. I mean, to be honest, I don't always, but I do like to make extensions my last appointment of the day for the most part, because I don't want to feel rushed. It's something that takes time. It's something that I like to spend a lot of time on. It takes me about an hour to do each row. And so I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want to feel like I have to hurry up, and then I'm fumbling even more. If I feel rushed, I'm like dropping stuff. I'm making a mess. So you just want to make sure you have enough time booked for your service. And if they're your last client of the day, like no sweat, it's all good. So, I mean, she was my last client, but my mom was texting me like, when are you coming to get Ruby? Because my mom watches Ruby during the day. So there's that, but it's all good in the hood. So as you can see, that little tail of the end of the string, I'm just kind of pinning up so that it's out of the way. And I go into more detail sewing in some of my other tutorials, but in this video, I feel like we didn't get like that good of a close-up of a shot on here. But you know what? Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you can kind of see what I'm doing. If you kind of know what you're doing, or you just need a refresher, or you're just like, I don't know, a little confused as to what you're doing. I feel like you don't need me to go over every little minute detail. That would be something that I would do in like a one-on-one virtual type class. So I've thought about doing virtual classes. I mean, I could do a Zoom where we could have like 10 people and, there could be a virtual class where I have a model and I'm answering questions and I'm doing a live install. I feel like that would be kind of fun. So seriously, like let me know in the comments, because if I get a lot of people that want me to do it, then I'll totally do it. And I'll just have to have you guys like sign up on an email list or something, and then I can let everybody know when I'm gonna do that, just like on an email, or I will post it to Instagram. So make sure you're following me on Instagram. It is at holy.hair. It's not complicated. I like to keep things simple around here. So yeah, I'm just going through and I am stitching in her wefts. And I like to do about 3, maybe 2 to 3 stitches in between each bead, and I am not going through the bead. When I'm sewing, I am not sewing it underneath the bead or through the bead or anything like that. I feel like that kind of causes a little bit of irritation for the client. I've tried it where I've sewn it, underneath the bead, and then where I've sewn it not underneath the bead, and I feel like it works out better sewing it just in between the beads and not actually under the actual bead. So I'm just going through and how I make sure I get that weft underneath, because the tricky part about doing the hidden bead is making sure you are looping it all the way under and getting that weft, like that is underneath the beads, because it's easy to get the wefts that are on top of the beads, but it's kind of hard to get the wefts underneath. So if you can see my left hand, I'm like holding underneath and making sure, what I'm doing with that hand is I'm making sure that the needle goes all the way under my weft that's underneath the beads. So I'm feeling the weft with my left hand, and I'm feeling the needle go all the way under and through the weft at the bottom there. And I'm just doing this every single time. And like I said, I'm very OCD, I'm very thorough, and I like to make sure that everything is consistent and that I'm not missing a stitch anywhere. So as I'm going through, I'm just feeling every single time, making sure that I get that weft sewn in there. So I'm just going around her entire head, and this is my sewing method that I'm doing around her whole head. And let's not sew the clip in there. And I like to kind of like use these clips and clip them around to hold the hair in place. It is a little tricky. Like, this is not an easy service by any means. Like, you're not going to be watching this video and be like, okay, yeah, I'm good, I'm going to do this on Sally tomorrow and charge her out the wazoo. Like, you got to practice this. So I would say, like, grab a couple girlfriends, grab, a client that is chill, and practice on them. And as far as where to get the hair from, so this is hard, because so originally when I first started getting the hair, I got it from Hotheads. Hotheads has tape-ins, they have wefts, they have all the above. So I used Hotheads, but they are extremely expensive, and each pack only comes with 2 wefts. So it's a little hard because everybody gets like more than 2 wefts. So the hair just, I don't know. Try Jay-Z. I love her. She's so sweet. Her and Stu are like the cutest ever. Oh my gosh, that's my dishwasher. Sorry, that was so loud. So, okay, try Jay-Z's hair. Her and Stu are literally the cutest, and she went through all this trouble of like, and I know how hard it is because I've looked into it, of getting her own hairline, sourcing it, and I know she has good hair. So if you want to try her hair, you can order it straight from her website. Her prices are very reasonable, and like she says, like, don't double and triple the prices of the hair for your clients. Like, I think she gives a little bit of a stylist discount, and you can charge, an ordering fee of like $100 or whatever, but don't charge your clients an unreasonable amount. So what I'm doing here is I am lifting up the weft and I'm just picking out the hair, like her hair that was sewn in. And hi, Poppy, my little cutie girl. Her hair that was sewn in, because when you're sewing the weft underneath, you're grabbing, like, you're really sewing like underneath, like pretty big. So you want to lift the hair up, make sure you get all that extra hair out, and then lay it back down so that everything's smooth. If that did not make sense, I am so sorry, but that's the best way I can describe it right now, running on little sleep this week. And if you guys think that I should not have voiced over this video running on little sleep, then let me know in the comments. Like, I'm just keeping it real on this video, to be honest. And I just really fumbled with the camera to get you the shot of inside her hair. But yeah, I'm just keeping it real. I just, this is real life, and I'm a hairstylist. I am not a rocket scientist. I am not a pope. I just am keeping it real, and I hope you guys enjoyed the realness of my voiceover on this video. As you can see, her hair was really, really short, and we have a tape in the front there, so that's what you're seeing, that long piece in the front. Her hair was super short. These extensions made her hair look 100 times better, and you can also do this for your clients. So let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do virtual classes. That's something I'm highly considering, and I'll see you beauties in the next video. Love ya.
Let's go, let's lead, let's hit, let's